I totally appreciate you, salute you, but this is not the voice of achievers and embodies. Do you agree with me, sir?
Yes.
And can I have a big round of applause for your achievements, not for mine? That's what. We are conducive also appreciating ourselves. So that's the most important. So what I want you to understand is that I have the guts, I have the patience, and I have the positive attitude. I'm sitting with the three green people from our country, and the most important thing I want all for people to understand, this is the World Education Summit. We are talking about the world education. So when the name is big, this summit also has to be in the same size. Am I right, sir? So I will request all of you people to be concise, precise in your response, be totally specific to the point, and yeah. So Mr. Banerjee, you tell me one thing. That do you believe that what has happened now is when a person joins in a university, the first thing what the teacher does is cut them from the connection of the heart and join them with the brain. Cut them from the creativity, cut them from the sensitivity, and join them with the thinking. Whole in a day we are thinking, whole life we are dreaming. That's what we do like the monkeys. So do you believe this is correct?
No, I don't think this is the right approach at this point in time. What I very strongly believe is...
So do you believe that what I'm saying is wrong and the university is not doing this?
People have actually transformed themselves.
I'm not saying all the universities.
Many of them have transformed.
I'm telling not, I'm not, when I say university, please don't take me, for wrong. I'm saying a lot of universities. There are some great universities, great teachers, yeah.
So what has happened is, people
Take the mic
are talking about identifying the gaps between the candidates who come and join the university and what is the analysis which follows. And through that, I think many of the universities which are actually interacting and trying to understand from them is they are actually taking the student to a 3-month orientation program of doing many remedial classes and supported by soft skills preparation, so that the student who is going to spend close to 3.5 years to 4 years on university is able to take along his studies well. This actually helps to reduce dropouts. This actually helps to build the confidence. This actually over a period of 2 years' time is able to develop the child to a if not a job ready, but he understands what he is studying, he is strong in his domain knowledge, he is able to express well, he becomes confident, and he is actually willing to take on globalization to the effect that
if it is so, then why this country is not able to produce Bill Gates? If it is so, why this country is not able to produce as big a genius as America produces?
So I think I should answer this question. It's very important because I've just come back from a startup summit which we are doing with CII. Okay, this country has got about 40,000 startups. The investment is close to about 20,000 crores plus in the so-called startups. Close to 80% have actually failed or just trying to survive. The reason being, this country does not have anything which is known as risk financing. Whereas in US or in Australia or in Canada and in some other countries, okay, there is a concept which is known as risk financing. And problem in India is that it is the taxpayers' money which is put at risk to fund all these startups and all that. And most of the startups don't have the backings of intellectual property rights.
So Mr. Reddy, what should be done so that being a great Indian, we all are great Indians, so we can also compete with the US,
Mainly, I will agree with the financing part.
Yeah. What about the other part?
Education. The financing part is the main important what we are lacking for the education.
Right.
In 1988, to get a 50,000 rupees finance for education institute, we went for 20 banks, no bank is given. Today also, very lesser chance, least chance is educational, that they are taking the higher interest rate of 6% extra than the PLR.
Why they are doing like this?
Why? Because that has to change. That the government policy has to change. Bankers' policies have to change. Need to finance for the education, because it is the main core sector where we require a lot of financial resources for the education institutions. Most of the education institutions, they are funding themselves, not from the financing part of the banks and other. At least after establishing, they are coming to us. We will give 5 crores, 2 crores, 10 crores, 20 crores, not at the beginning stage. That has to change in India. Financing for the education institutions is required in India at the lower interest rate construction interest rate, how the housing we are financing 8%, 8.25%, but we are paying 18% for the education sector.
Right.
Why it is? Why the change? Change is
Mr.
required from the government policy.
Mr. Goyal, if most of the students, if you see in university or in the schools, you ask him that what do you want to do? They will say either government job or software.
I feel, nowadays, most of them, especially I am from an IT city, so I see the students are focusing more on software, they don't want to become a teacher. The biggest reason what I believe is, in India, I have visited so many B schools, even I have visited so many preschools. One of my friend is running the biggest chain of preschools, Hello Kids. So the biggest problem is we are not upgraded with the time. I think, the educationists, the teachers, and we believe still, somewhere in our heart, we believe in the traditional approach. And when I say traditional approach, as sir told me just now, he said about the funding part. See, funding is one of the aspects. But there are so many other things where, when we say that India is not generating the Bill Gates. To be very frank, sir, please don't mind, but I feel like I myself is a Bill Gates. Why? Why? Because, 12 years back, I did my schooling from Hindi medium, a very small place in Rajasthan. And then I moved for an MBA in, Bangalore. हम लोग एक इंग्लिश की लाइन बोलने में भी स्ट्रगल करते थे. This is how we have grown up. But we have got upgraded education. But still somewhere we cannot become Bill Gates. The reason is very simple. Somewhere in India the policies are not right. For getting an AICTE approval nowadays, they'll ask for principal chamber, they'll ask for director's chamber, they'll ask for the education of the principal, he or she should be the PhD, you should have that much of rooms. These are not going to serve the quality education. First of all, I think they should ask who is the managing director, who is the chairman. We have to work under his or her.
Do you believe that Bill Gates is created at home? When a child is born, the environment creates Bill Gates at birth. Like because my mother or my father, if he believes that I'm a stupid child and he does not believe I can become Bill Gates, that the way he will bring me up, that will also create, the main.
Yes.
The first 7 years are very important.
Right, absolutely. But in India, to be very frank, that will take another, 15 to 20 years. When I am in Delhi, when I am in Bangalore, I see, yes, parents are giving that type of, the upbringing. But when I go back to my place in Bhadra, it is one of the small places in Rajasthan, I don't see that thing in parents. So we have to learn. We as a student, and a surprising fact, about 66 to 67% students belongs to that particular category. Out of 100. So that is slightly tough, but yes, we are changing. The convent schools are coming in the smaller places, so it will really create a change in the
I'll tell you, again, I will appreciate myself. Sorry to do that because I don't have anything else to do. When I was there day before yesterday, I was in Manipal University. I spoke for 35 minutes and I got appreciation letter from Manipal University. I have got appreciation letter for 3 hours training from IIT. I didn't approach anyone because my way of approach was I put my heart and soul into my training. I make sure the person who is sitting in front of me, talking to me, gets total influence, and I do it with integrity, without any bad intention. So what I'm telling you right now, you people, that is it possible that when I talk about the Bill Gates, I'm not talking about the Bill Gates, the billionaire. I'm talking about the Bill Gates who is contributing to the world. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the billionaire. So when I talk, I'm sorry if I didn't mention that, but I'm talking about the other part. He's more focusing on Bill and Melinda Gates and billions of dollars he's investing, to bring the poor child up. In India, he has taken, a lot of small places. He has invested a lot of money, and so totally approved the diseases and all. So what I want, your answer was very nice. What, Mr. Banerjee, you are an educator, so you will be the right person to. And I'll also love to take a appreciation letter from you also because so the main thing is what I'm telling you. See that when we think about the education, we think about this kind of World Education Summit. Do you think that the main thing is missing in India is a passion, the gusto, the excitement in the child? Do you think it's missing? And what we just give four short and concise answer.
So I think
Is it missing?
child I'll address slightly later, but I think I was discouraged by 99 people to leave my first job and get into education. People said it's mad. But I can tell you, this country at this point in time has got close to 3,000 leading corporate houses. Even 5 people from every corporate house, if they come in and spend their time, effort and get into education big time, there's going to be a lot of transformation. These people bring in the requisite skill set, allow an entry to the students to go and do the internship in their companies and guide them to see that they're employed. When it comes to a child, what has happened at this point in time, because of the family being nuclear and with the parents working in different organizations, the amount of time the parents are able to spend with the child is slightly less compared to what was being spent during our times, So parents are more concerned about sending the child to a tuition. They are trying to, even the pedagogy today which is planned is absolutely tailor-made to only answer those many questions. I was just trying to speak to some people at the management aptitude test, and I have realized 68% of the students are absolutely having a below par knowledge of general knowledge.
Agree.
They have got very low knowledge about environmental issues. So these are actually concerns. Today, the world is talking about environmental issues. Okay, the carbon credit, we're talking about global warming, we're talking about ensuring a safe and a clean environment, we're talking about clean drinking water.
What is the main concern? Why these things are happening?
These are happening because these are not entering the classrooms, Either it's a corporate initiative, that too when government
Do you think that we have become more unnatural? We are focusing more on being unnatural. We are focusing more on. We have 5 senses. How many of you agree that we have 5 senses? Nobody agrees. Okay, no problem. We have 5 senses. Out of this one sense we have what's called smell and taste. We are focusing more on pizza than anything else. Chicken. If early morning a child wakes up, the first thing you ask, "Mommy, what is there for the breakfast?" The child is not taught that unless and until you detoxify yourself, detoxify your body, don't think about these things. So when the child is not taught how to detoxify the body, detoxify the thought, but child is given chicken in the morning or paneer in the morning, without detoxifying the body. So the most important thing is what is happening is we are getting the disease in the name of education. What is happening is we are eating all the kind of stuff we should not, because we have 2 senses, smell and taste, or that's called olfactory and gustatory. That is creating the biggest problem, not because of the gustatory and olfactory, but because of our focus on that. So what we need to do to change the focus from this and this to this and this, eyes and ears.
Mainly,
Bit louder, sir.
to change this, actually earlier question, one small answer is there. Why not you can made it Bill Gates?
Yeah.
Mainly, the parents and also our governments and all, we are making the syllabus-oriented teaching, but not the open-oriented teaching.
Correct.
We are engineering college, whereas in the schools and plus 2 system, everywhere, in the universities also, marks-oriented, certificate-oriented. That has to change in India among the educationists. That's the first thing. And second thing is a parent mindset. From the beginning itself, from the age of 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, you have to become a doctor, you have to become an engineer, you have to become a scientist. Something we are focusing. We are ourselves is creating in their minds. We don't want to become a risk factor of like that, because Bill Gates also risk so many things. One overnight, Bill Gates not become a Bill Gates. And Tata also not become overnight.
Bill Gates was supported by, first of all, his mother. And the mother wanted to make him a lawyer. They wanted to make him a lawyer. When he went to the university, he saw the computer and got totally fascinated by it, forgotten about being a lawyer. And he became a liar. Then I don't want to become this, I want to become, and he became truthful to the computer. And when he started operating computer, he forgot about the whole world. He said, "This is what I want to do. And this is what the career is." So when you give the complete stuff to the child, the right thing, the child will see one thing and he will get attracted. He will hear something and say, "This is what I want to get." That's a passion.
There is one more thing also. Parent-oriented education is there. Always we're focusing, you go this area, you go this area, this area. That is another drawback in education in India.
Don't become what you want to become. Don't do what you need to become.
In our schools, what we are educating mainly, even all the achievers, we are all focused on don't become an employee, you become an employer. We have to always has to tell to our students how many children of us has to become an employer. That means establishment in any small company become overnight, nobody will become a top company. But the small thing also today, you can employ 1 or 2 persons, tomorrow 1,000, 1 lakh also like that.
Mr. Goyal,
That is the one thing what we have to do.
Mr. Goyal, we believe that apart from the IQ, which is very important to the child, you also need EQ plus PQ, that's a physical quotient, and plus SQ, spiritual quotient for the child.
I really feel like, IQ is one of the part where a child can really focus on, but EQ, PQ and SQ. If you will see nowadays, spiritual education is really needed for these students. The reason is very simple. Everybody is so stressed. We see, in MBA education, most of the adults are studying over there in our college. But we see due to the relationship, the false relationships, the affair what they have in the colleges, and the unnecessary pressure by the teachers, and specifically, please don't mind, but specifically by the parents. As sir asked the question that why the students are losing passion, excitement. The reason is very simple. I have many, the small kids at my home. One of my niece has scored 97% marks in, I think, 3rd or 4th standard. But she was unhappy. I asked her why, what happened? We used to score 60, 70. The answer from her was, Mummy was expecting 99 because my neighbor has got 99.5. So I really feel that pressure should not be there. Automatically the passion will come out. If she really wants to become a singer and you see that yes, she can become a, then no need to set up for engineering.
What is the remedy, Mr. Goyal, what is the remedy to this stress? Because stress is good stress and bad stress both we have. So what is the remedy to come out of this stress?
Spiritual education. Spiritual education is much needed.
Can you be more specific? I don't think that even the genius also, all the people, even the spiritual people, they think meditation. So can you be more specific spiritual education?
Apart from meditation, see, like recently we were in touch with Heartfulness Institute. They have given a program in our college, and we have seen a major change in the students' mindset. The kind of thought process they had before the program, and after after 12 sessions, they really felt good. You know why? Because through that spiritual education, I feel like the mindset of the students has changed. And apart from spiritual education, it's not only about yoga, meditation. It's about the happiness. We should create the happiness. We should. It is okay. It should be within also, but at the same time, the environment, the kind of mindset they have, they should get the happiness in their surrounding, and you will automatically see the passion and excitement in the students.
Okay. So the main thing is when he talks about a spiritual education, so everybody has a different definition to spirituality or definition is different. So when he talks about a spiritual, so how the spiritual education can be given to the child so that the child can become a super genius. Genius does not mean somebody who has money, who makes a lot of money, achievement. One who lives happily, one who is physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, physiologically, I can tell also, socially and spiritually fit. That's the one man who can be called successful. If you have a billion and you are having cancer because you have eaten something which you should not eat, I will not call you rich. Rich person has a multi-dimensional rich man. So tell me that what should be done so that child should get the spiritual and spiritual thing.
So I think it begins from the home itself, family itself. The father and the mother actually should be taking care of the child, talking to him, being very positive about things. So I'll give you a very small example. Of late, in the last 5 years, there's a drastic shift in students moving away from engineering colleges and getting into design education. Okay, you look across India, you will find close to 1.5 lakh seats which are vacant. One, the country is not in a position to provide meaningful employment to students who come from engineering studies and background. And secondly, people have felt that designing is a very creative form of expression. So what has happened is, there are many families who have actually taken up yoga sessions. Okay, they're talking about their child going for an evening walk if morning is not a possibility. They're talking about a proper healthy diet. They're trying to put their child into a very regimented process and maybe with a lot of positive vibes coming in. I talk to my students, I tell them, when I was young, I have never heard the word called depression. Believe me, I've never heard about it. Today, I believe it's more of a fashion which has come in.
It's a fashion.
I think the impact has.
I have more depression. You are not compared to me. Come on, I have more depression. Can I request, somebody can help me? I will ask audience to ask two of the questions. That will be more better. So, can somebody help me? Pass the mic to somebody. Yeah, which is there. Somebody please help me. Yeah, sir. I'll come otherwise. I'll come myself. No problem. I'm having a lot of passion.
Hi everybody, I am Dr. Deepthi Taneja. I am a professor in Delhi University. So you've been talking about the problems of education. I would like to specifically tell you that none of you approached that topic, but I'm sorry to say that.
That's the reason actually I was watching people, I felt that you people will be the right person to ask the right question.
I know you've been asking all the right questions as well, but I would actually like to point out at one of the biggest anomaly of our system right now is, what I feel is that why you, Mr. Goyal just touched upon it, that teaching is the last profession that anybody wants to enter into.
Absolutely.
You did not actually talk about the reason for that. The reason I personally feel is, I feel myself very embarrassed as a teacher who's put in a lot of effort, somebody who's done a lot of education to come into the field of education. When sitting on the interview table, you're not asking us the questions, but the private institutions are asking us, negotiating about the pay package. When the remuneration is not attractive enough, that is why people do not want to enter into the education arena. Why do you think
so
that
what should be done according to you? So why
I actually feel that the teaching as a profession should be made remunerated enough so that the people themselves are motivated. Why should the best brains be attracted towards the industry? They are attracted towards the industry because they're getting a higher pay package there. So the remuneration should be made attractive enough that the best brains come to the education. When they are themselves motivated, then only can they produce happy children.
So what's your one-line question to these people?
It was not a question actually, it was just a suggestion that since you are there in the education field, you should stop negotiating.
Do you believe, ma'am, I respectfully ask you this question, do you believe that rather than focusing more on the brain, we can focus more on the heart and the spirit?
So the heart and the spirit is actually going to come when I am not there as a forceful occupation but due to my passion. Why as a last resort, when I've been turned away? I came to education because of my passion for teaching.
Yeah.
But I know my contemporaries, when they've been turned away from the industry,
Right.
that is when they want to join education, and especially the school education.
And do you also believe that failure is the pillar to success? Somebody pushes you, then only you know that how to become more stronger.
I beg your pardon, sir?
I said, do you believe that failure is the pillar to success? There are no failures among the results, there are no failures among the
Failure is a
the
mindset.
pillar.
Yes, I completely believe
So-
that. Failure is a mindset.
So do you believe that every child, when he goes through some kind of complications, the child and is run by the right parents and the right environment, the child learns much better in just few days than to learn in 1 to 2 years?
Of course, there has to be a balance between what the home is giving you and
Okay.
what the school is giving you.
Okay.
So
So
when
you have a child. Do you have a child?
Oh, yes, I have.
So your child and me, with both sitting together. Suppose your child and SAN both sitting together, and we are having a computer game. Do you think I'll win or your child will win?
I cannot predict like that. What is going to stop
I
my
think your child will win. You know
Yes,
why?
that's what I'm saying.
Not because he's more smarter, not because he's more faster, but he has played the game before, so he knows the rules ahead.
No, it's not really like that. Even if somebody has played ahead, it's not
Yeah.
really going to.
Why I'm telling you, I'm not arguing with you, I'm telling you the very simple thing that if the child wins because child does everything from the heart. Brain is not developed. That's the reason if you teach a child, if you educate a child will learn more faster than anybody else in the world. So once we have lost our
So that is
childhood,
exactly
so you can
what
ask
I'm
this a
saying.
question, what should be done to gain back the creativity and
I am rather suggesting the child will be happy only when the educators are happy themselves.
so
not
you
those
respond to
people.
her question that what to do to get the child within us again,
Ma'am,
rejuvenate the child.
No, I don't think it was our idea.
Great question, ma'am. First give a big hand for her. Great question.
I
Fantastic.
think there's a major overhaul which is happening in
Can you take the mic a little closer by? Close by.
There's a new education policy which has just got announced. There are going to be more than 60 plus private universities coming up across various states. The government is going to spend a lot of money on doing a lot of value-added research which will impact India's economic growth. And it's going to be in Tier 2, Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities and towns. It will predominantly not be happening in metros. Okay, Delhi to no. Okay, it's going to be happening in other places. So what is now trying to happen is, there's a lot of intellect which is going to come into India. I'm not sure whether you are
Take the
aware.
mic close by, sir.
There are many of these IIT top-ranked engineers who have so-called migrated to Silicon Valley say 20 years back. They have already started coming back to India. There are people who have already started teaching in IITs across the country. You can see them teaching at IIT Jodhpur, they're in IIT Kharagpur. I've seen many of them interacting. Yes, money might be a deterrent at this point in time because government is really working on it. And I personally feel once you have all these private universities coming in place, which will happen by 2020-22,
Anybody else has any
you will
questions?
see a lot of change which is happening in the entire education system. You will find a lot of those people coming back to India and actually upgrading the entire process. And while doing so, they'll be doing it. For example, you had Mr. Nanda, who was brought in from Harvard Business School, who had IIM Ahmedabad. Man, but he could click in the entire system for only 3.5 years. So people are trying it out. He was given a salary which nobody got in the country at that point in time, about 3.5 years back. But for him to settle down, it took time, but he could not settle. So there are ways people are trying to test it out and see if it really happens, then they'll start upgrading it. And today it is not only the salary or the remuneration which you get. You bring in good research, you interact with good companies, you get good projects, you are paid. IITs and IIMs, they support you by ensuring that you spend or you get 50% of the amount of money which you get as a remuneration from the entire project which you do. So there's always an earning which is happening, but it has to be shared between you and the organization.
Anybody else has a question? Anybody else has a question? Question? Anybody else has a question? Look. Anybody? On any side? No question is a good question.
Can I say 2 lines about
Ah,
participation?
please. She wants to answer. Somebody was asking from this side. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I cannot see your lovely face. Do you mind coming to closer? Just take the mic. Somebody should pass the mic. Yeah, it's coming. Your mic is coming.
I'm Sajid Thomas. I'm the CFO of Topmost Group. We are here because we are a part of Sam Kids International Preschool in Cochin.
Okay.
So, what is the importance of education? You didn't mention anything.
So can you repeat it?
What is the importance of education?
What is the
Main importance.
importance of education, sir? What is important?
Education importance is in most of the parents and our people are thinking that certificate oriented. We have to changing, reset all these international schools and private universities. We are all the achievers of the education institutions. We are changing the answer for that. Importance is not just for getting the degree or certificate. We are teaching now, we are all teaching now, recently from last 10 years especially, the international schools are coming up and there in all parts of the India, teaching from the childhood itself. The importance of education, not for the, just for the certificate, it is for the knowledge base. And second thing, we have to give something to the world as the real establishment, the companies or anything as we to become employees are like that, not as employees. Employees are so many, but employees are the limited. So for that, the importance is mainly from the schooling sector, it has to come, education. We have to create for the children more, we have to teach for them regarding that.
Do you agree with his answer?
See, simply,
Do you agree with his answer?
no, not at
I
all.
agree. So
Okay,
yes,
I can say something.
let him answer because we have 3 panelists. You can just yeah.
First of all, I would like to focus on the question of Madam, as she spoke about teachers, so that most of the promoters are really focusing on negotiation part. I do agree with you, madam, because I have seen most of the management people, they don't even understand what is the full form of MBA, what is the full form of BIT, BCA, and I'm sure you would have gone through it. The biggest problem, as I said, when we are getting an affiliations, the first, the promoter should be interviewed by the reputed authorities. And second aspect is, I believe nowadays, the focus of the institutions, as the number of institutions has come up. So, I'm sorry to say, but about 30 to 40% of the budget is going for marketing. I have not seen during my schooling, during my college and MBA, that we got any call or message from the people. Nowadays, one student is getting more than, thousands of messages and all these things. So I feel like, and being a marketer, we are selling the teaching skills only, but we are not paying properly to the teachers. And why Finland is number one in education, that is the major reason. They are focusing on the teaching part. And I believe like, the government has to work in these particular policies. So it can really come out.
So we have less time now, and just 2 minutes will close. So the main thing I just want you to understand that the question of your wisdom, the question of your emotional, I believe that your answer will be the right answer. So what's your answer, sir?
My answer to bring a best human. The education has to bring a best human among from the.
So you mean that it has to connect you with the nature?
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Thank you very much. So, thank you so much for this wonderful discussion, and we really had a great time. Thank you so much. God bless.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Hello, excuse me, sir. One more question, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more question.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, Mahesh Tarampalli representing Basav-Kalyan Engineering College.
Can you be louder or please come closer so that we can hear your question? We are not able to hear. So, nicely there.
Yeah, Mahesh Tarampalli representing Basav-Kalyan Engineering College, Bidar. So my question is like, how can we motivate students, who are starting their engineering career? How can we motivate? Like I was an engineering student, but I did not have a motivation, to contribute. Like you said, Bill Gates contributed because he had a question. Like
we have to focus more on strategy less than motivation, because motivation is like taking bath. You take in the morning, evening it goes, it starts thinking.
Yeah.
So strategy is the tool. Like there is resources we need to. I will tell you only one thing. You have to make your child more resourceful. If you ask me, more resourceful. Your child is having all the resources, but your child is not resourceful. So once you make your child resourceful, I believe that he will be able to become what you want exactly him to become, or maybe God wants him to become. That is going to happen.
Mr. Goyal and Mr. Reddy said that we have to focus on research and innovation and startups. But how can we include that in curriculum? How can we help students understand the real world scenario? What is happening in the market and how can they contribute in the market?
So I think
Mr. Reddy.
Because Mr.
Reddy.
And because engineering is
Give
all
short
about
answer, just 2 line answer.
it's all about facts and figures that you're teaching the students.
Yeah.
What's the question?
Yeah, because in engineering you're teaching more about facts and figures, but the students don't know the real world scenario, the real world problems.
Yeah.
How can you communicate?
Mainly, where it starts from the school education, we feel what we are everyday curriculum, we are attaching all the lessons to the nature. First of all, in our school also, what we made, whatever the lessons we have here, every week, practically we are teaching for the naturally what we are, and linking the science with the education, everyday life. First of all, for example, when we wake up, a toothpaste will be there. When we are brushing a toothpaste, if you ask a child for what are the ingredients involving making of a toothpaste, nobody will eat it. We have to start from there to teach a child about the science which is around us is from morning to night. We are using hundreds of products. Everything we have introduced the child. What is the nature and what we have, what we are seeing around us is in education. That is a successful education,
Basically,
what I feel.
If you see all this thing together, we come down to this answer is that awareness and mastering the senses is most important. So educate your child to master his senses, and because the eyes, the ears, the way we are utilizing, watching anything, listening anything, and to feel good, do any damn stuff. So once we change the focus and other things, things are going to change. Thank you so much. It was great to give a big round of applause. This is not the kind of applause.